Welcome. The following technical support video will show you how to use the inputs and the outputs buttons on the MultiRIP interface. Both of these buttons are located in the top left corner of the MultiRIP interface. We'll start off with the input buttons. When you click on this, it'll bring up two different tabs. The hot folders are the folders that the file actually gets sent from once it leaves your graphics software program. The hot folders are the folders where the RIP will actually go through periodically, search for it, pick up the folder, and then begin the processing portion of it. For each of the printers that you have installed on your computer, you'll see a hot folder installed. Let's, for this example, state we're using the Epson 4800 printer to create our Hyrbid. Click on the Epson 4800 folder, and you'll notice down here it'll tell you what the output device is, and it'll also tell you what your output queue is. This will allow you to go ahead and know what your output queue is for later on when we will pause the output queues using the output button. You also have a second tab, which is Configure Printer Entities. Depending on which different printer entities you have here, you can go ahead and configure it. In this case, we'll just go ahead and scroll down to the Epson 4800 Easy Die Sub, and you'll notice that it'll tell you what path is used for the software, the hot folder that it's using, the PPD that is assigned to that folder, and then if need be, if we need to edit it, we can also edit the driver as well. There is one other thing I'd like to show you in the Configure Hot folders, and that is this button over here underneath the job settings. This is very important to have the use settings specified at print time checked. This way all the settings that you put into the RIP interface after you go File, Print, click on the Properties or Preference buttons in advance will be applied. If you don't have that checked, or if you ever have to drop in a PDF or postscript file directly into the RIP, you then can specify your settings by clicking on the Specify Settings button, and a new window will come, and you'll notice that you'll have all the same settings that you have, from your ink type to what color mode you're going to run in, what your RGB and CMYK profiles, and then the different media types and stuff as well that you would use are all located in here. It's just in a different layout. A little bit more steps than the other side of it if you go straight from the graphics software program, but this is just to let you know that you have that capability of doing that. That is the Inputs button. If we go to the Output button, this is where you can go ahead and choose to pause or resume different output queues. In the case that we were working with before, we have the Power RIP output queue number 4. I can go ahead and pause this output queue, and you'll notice that the status changes immediately to pause. I can resume the output queue, and it'll be ready to go. I can also click on the Jobs button, and it'll pull open a window and allow me to see any of the jobs that are sitting in that output queue as well. For the most part, unless you're doing something more advanced, that's all you really need to know for both the inputs and the output button. I would also like to show that you do have the ability to drop in a file directly into the RIP by going File and click on the Print PostScript File. It'll open up a window and ask you to search for different files. You have the ability, in this case, to put in any type of file that you would like. You can go through and put into a PDF file will allow you to be dropped in, or a PostScript file, or you can also have a PRN file or an SPL file as well. Those can be dropped right in. Again, once you drop it in, it'll open up a window that'll ask you to go ahead and for you to set up your different settings. Notice this time the use settings specified at print time is not checked, so you'll go through and click on your different settings and put them. And that's how you can go ahead and drop in a job automatically into the RIP. If you have any other questions in regards to the inputs or the outputs buttons, or putting a file directly into the RIP, please visit www.multiripusers.com. Thank you.